Hey everyone, there we go. Had all sorts of shadows in my eyes. Hey, happy Saturday. A little bit early today, but I had a few moments and I wanted to talk to you. Continue on our story of Jonah and Nahum. Remember, for those of you who don't know, and even for those of you who do know, we're going over Jonah. A little bit of Bible study this Saturday. And the whole purpose of this goes back to Jonah, the story of Nineveh. Nineveh, which was the capital of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, biggest city in the Middle East in its day. And a little bit of Judges. Remember in Judges, 13 judges raised up because it says that the people worship God, and then after a little while they forgot their God and did evil in his sight. Bad stuff happened, people cry out to God, God sends a judge. So what does all this have to do with Jonah? Well, let's continue on. Remember, last week we talked about Jonah. He gets called by God to go to Nineveh. Jonah doesn't want to go to Nineveh. He doesn't like Ninevites. So he runs on a ship to Tarshish. Tarshish at that time was considered, it's like, don't really know if that's a real place or not. There are places called Tarshish, but it's thought that in common language, Tarshish was considered the ends of the earth. So it's like saying today, go to Timbuktu. Timbuktu means the farthest place away from civilization. That was Tarshish. And gets on a boat. Sailors realize that Jonah's run away from God, all about to drown. Jonah says, throw me in the sea. So it's like, no. So eventually Jonah's thrown into the sea. That's where we left it last week. Today, what does Jonah do in the sea? It says that he's swallowed by a big fish. So what does Jonah do? Well, he's waiting to be digested. What would you do while you're waiting to be digested? That's actually a really good question. Not sure if I would do what Jonah did or not, but here's what he did. Well, hopefully I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read to you a little bit. So, this is Jonah chapter 2. Well, maybe, there we go. So Jonah's in a big fish, thrown into the sea. Fish comes and swallows him. And it says, Jonah chapter 2, verse 1. When Jonah was inside the fish, he prayed to the Lord his God and said, and remember, 3 days and 3 nights he's in the fish. All these Bible scholars, and actually the Bible itself said this is an allusion to what happens to Jesus when he's crucified and he's put in the grave for 3 days, 3 nights. All right. Jonah 2. While Jonah's inside the fish, he prayed to the Lord his God and said, when I was in danger, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. I was about to die, so I cried to you, and you heard my voice. Remember Judges? You threw me into the sea, down into the deep sea. The water was all around me, and your powerful waves flowed over me. I said I was driven out of your presence, but I hope to see your holy temple again. The waters of the sea closed around my throat. The deep sea was all around me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. When I went down to where the mountains of the sea started to rise, I thought I was locked in this prison forever. But you saved me from the pit of death, Lord my God. When my life had almost gone, I remembered the Lord. I prayed to you, and you heard my prayers in your holy temple. People who worship useless idols give up their loyalty to you, but I will praise and thank you. Well, I give sacrifices to you, and I will keep my promises to you. Important line. Maybe you'll go to Nineveh. Salvation comes from the Lord. Then the Lord spoke to the fish, and the fish threw up Jonah on dry land. So, let me go into the next chapter, because I want to read something. Chapter 3, verse 1, it says, the Lord spoke his word to Jonah again, and said, get up, go to the great city Nineveh, and preach to it what I tell you to say. It says, "So Jonah obeyed the Lord and got up and went to Nineveh." So the reason I started with Judges is Jonah and the Judges are a lot alike. Jonah, the only prophet who runs away from God, doesn't do what God tells him to. But like Judges, when Jonah gets in trouble, Jonah cries out. Like Judges, God heard and God rescued him. And like Judges, Jonah does good. So this is where we're at. Jonah obeys God and is getting ready to go to Nineveh. But what is the deal with Nineveh and Nahum? And why is nobody named Nahum today? I think that's a Wednesday question. I don't have an answer for that one. I don't know. But anyway, that's what we got. Just remember this. Disobeyed, called out to God, God rescued him, and now he's going to obey and go to Nineveh. So what is going to happen in Nineveh? We'll find out next week. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day today. Beautiful day down here in Tampa. And great Sunday. And Wednesday, come back because we're going to answer another question we've gotten recently. I don't want to give a preview yet. Check back Wednesday. For all the latest updates, to keep up with us, FL Compass Church, or on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And to keep up with all the updates, check us out online, www.flcompasschurch.org, and that's where you also contact me. Send me in your questions. Have a great week, and we'll see you Wednesday.